Gabbard arrives in Puerto Rico to show support amid street protests. White House hopeful Republic. Tulsi Gabbard said she went to the island to show I am these. Gabbard also called on the Democratic Party and the other 24 presidential contenders to call for this. Russell has so far resisted calls to resign, instead offering apologies as he tries to govern through the scandal engulfing the island. The controversy was sparked when 2 former members of Russell's administration were arrested by the FBI earlier this month over allegations they directed more than $15 million in government contracts to favored businesses. The Puerto Rican Center for Investigative Journalism released the trove of messages among Russell and his closest allies, including at least 2 cabinet members, that hammered journalists and political rivals. Several other White House contenders have expressed support for Puerto Rican protesters, including top-tier contenders Senators Bernie Sanders,
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park,